Welcome to the Real Estate Baller Show. If you ever like any of the video we posted, if you like this channel, can you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button? It helps us more than you know. And the bigger this channel get, the more people we can help achieve financial freedom. Thank you and enjoy the episode.
And a lot of it's very, very popular now. But I actually, started doing Novations about like 5 years ago. And to a lot of people, like a lot of realtors, because I get a lot of realtors that ask me what are Novations. It's practically a net listing. I don't know. Are you familiar with net listings? So it's where I go in and I tell the seller, because a lot of these sellers, they want, obviously the most they can get for their property. And I tell them, I'm like, okay, so I kind of act like as a realtor, I'm like, all right, Mr. Seller. So like, for example, I'm like, Ms. V, I understand that you want to get, your 150,000. But in order for me to get you this, I am going to have to bring this to a different type of buyer, because now that you're asking close to retail, which I want to give you this, I'm going to have to put your property on the market. I said, but the great thing is, you won't have to pay any commissions, no closing costs, none of that. So you will still net your 150, but I am going to put the property on the market for more so the buyer can cover all of the closing costs, commissions, and our fee in there. So you don't even have to pay us, and they love that because they're like, yes, and a lot of these realtors, they're going in there where, yes, I'll give you 150, but you're going to have to still pay his commissions, closing costs, and all that. And of course, when you're analyzing the deal has to still make sense, right? Which most of the time they do. And so they're okay with that. They're very happy about that, because now you're giving them the 150. And I even tell them, because, of course, sellers think that, oh, if I put it on the market, I'm going to have to fix it, or I'm going to have to do this. And I don't want to do that. I said, don't worry. You're going to get your 150. And then everything above that, we will cover it. If we have to fix this or we have to fix that, we will take care of that on our end. So you don't have to worry about that. So they're like, okay, go ahead, put it on, do whatever you got to do. As long as I'm getting my 150, I don't care what you make or what you do. And we've actually, a lot of the deals that they were not able to be wholesale because they're too tight, where they're not able to be a flip because the numbers don't make sense. We've made them into a novation, and we've profited like 40K, 50K on these deals. And these deals were nowhere to look like a deal. So those are the great things about the novation, because now you don't have to find a lender. You don't have to pay for the holding costs. You don't pay for closing costs. You only pay for closing costs when you find the buyer on the market, but you don't have to close on it, if you were buying it like as a flip, So you get to save all this money on all of that and still profit a good amount of chunk of money. And it's crazy because these deals don't look like deals. Like, you look at them, you're like, the numbers don't make sense. The numbers don't make sense. But out of those deals that don't make sense to obviously other people, I've taken these deals and we've, like I said, profit 40K, 45K on some of these deals, and, my husband was very happy when I started doing the strategy. He's like, you're such a genius. That's why I married you. But it's just like, you just have to know how to work the deal, because numbers don't lie. I'm a numbers girl. So I look at numbers and I'm like, what do I have room to do in this deal? And that's how I'm able to take that. And I tell the sellers, I'm like, look, you want me to give you what you're asking for? Well, then I need you to favor to let me do this, right? Let me put it on the market and let me do that. And they're like, okay, but you have to talk to them, like, one of the things about me, I communicate and this is what helped me being a hairdresser, is all I did was talk. So I'm really good about communicating with people And I never, one of the things I always tell them, I want to make sure you understand exactly what we're doing here, right? Because I want you to know what you're doing. I don't want you to have any surprises at the end and you're like, well, you didn't tell me this, right? So I'm very upfront with them, and I do tell them like, hey, whatever above 150, I'm gonna keep my fee, and then I pay the realtors, I pay the closing costs, and they don't care, because when you close on those properties, the seller does see what you're going to make. But because I was so honest and upfront, and they're just so happy that I was able to get them what they're asking for, they don't care. They don't really care what you make,
So you mentioned a net listing. Do you then actually sign? Because I've seen it both ways. Do you actually sign a listing agreement, or do you sign a contract, a purchase contract?
So I signed a purchase contract for 150 with them, right? And then I do a power of attorney. So that way so the realtor I'm communicating with the realtor. Everything is communicated with me. My promise to the seller of the 150 is still there, right? Because I promised them 150, and that's where I'm going to get them. So whenever I do put it on the market, I have a realtor, which he does all my novations. And so I sign everything off for them. All the offers, they all come to me. The seller doesn't get disturbed at all. The only thing is like, hey, we're ready to close, and I let them know, and that's it. But I deal with the realtors, with the offers, inspections, everything. I'm the responsible one for everything through the power of attorney. So they sign a power.
So during this time, the seller still occupy the property?
Sometimes. Most of them that I've done, they've been vacant. But if they are there, then I just tell them, hey, so-and-so's going to come, whatever. They are aware. But I try to go for the properties that are vacant because they sell quicker. Because if they're there, then it's gonna be a little bit hard for them. But I try to go for more of the vacant properties, because a lot of these are absentee owners that we're dealing with, So the tenant just got out or something like that, So, but if they are living there, that's fine.
Yeah. So, but they already know that you're going to
they know.
Put the house on the market, sign in the yard.
They do.
All of that.
Yeah. And I built such a great relationship with them that they're okay with it. They're like, okay. And it's all about how you explain it to them. They like it. That's why they like me, because I don't hide things from them. And they're like, thank you for being honest with me, not trying to sneak something behind my back and then I find out. So they appreciate that so much, because like I said, I try to tell them, I want to make sure you understand what I'm doing here, so you don't have any surprises, so, and they appreciate that a lot.
So I would assume that you need to put some special language in the special provision explaining this to the seller to allow you to list the property on the MLS.
No, I don't. I mean, I do put on there that I am going to do a power of attorney, and the power of attorney is just to make the decisions from me putting the property on the market, because like I tell them, you don't need to deal with that. I've already promised you your 150. I don't have to come back and tell you, hey, you got this offer, you got that offer, because that's not your headache. That's going to be I'm dealing with that. So I would need a power of attorney to be able to make these decisions. I'm only going to make decisions on your property, on offers and things like that. So that's the only thing that is on there. But I tell them like why I need the power of attorney, right? Because I don't want to bother them and be like, hey, we got this offer, because your 150 is getting guaranteed. So it doesn't matter what offers we get over here, So that's pretty much all I add on there. Is just a power of attorney, but I do take them another sheet of a power of attorney, and I just tell them this is to make decisions on the offers that your property's getting. Nothing else. I'm not trying to take over the property. I'm not trying to make decisions on your property. It's just for that, and I just put that on there, that this power of attorney is just to make decisions on the offers and for me to be dealing with the realtors, the permission. So that's it.
Are you Are you the listing agents on these deals?
No, I'm not even a realtor. I have a friend of mine, Billy. He's done all my novations. He's worked with me for like this whole time, and he's really good. He understands novations because it does take a special realtor to understand novations and know what you're doing. Because if not, it can get kind of ugly, you know, because other realtors, they'll try to say, oh, that's illegal. And yeah, it might look illegal, but it's not. That's a great thing.
Right, nothing's illegal about it.
If
it's like a long game, like wholesale was considered illegal,
yeah,
right? Or I mean, so it was never illegal. I misspoke, but every realtor out there thought it was illegal,
right?
The wholesale, right?
Yeah.
Who signed the sale contract?
So the seller, me and the seller signed.
Seller.
Yes, we have a sales contract for $150, right? And then I get a power of attorney because I'm going to put it on the market, right? So on the power of attorney, it says I'm going to make decisions with realtors and with all the offers, anything that has to do with selling the property, I'm going to make the decisions on that, you know? So they're okay. They say, as long as I get my 150, I don't care what you do after. So that's why I do that sales contract, because that's between me and them. And then I take that, and then when I put it on the market, then that's between the realtor, and the power of attorney is between the realtors and myself now, because
yes, and the second contract,
yes,
you sign,
right?
The seller
does,
homeowner does not sign.
No,
okay.
I don't even look at any. I do everything on when.
And who signed the closing?
Okay, the seller. The seller signed
the seller.
Yeah.
So this is when the sellers see the settlement statement and see,
you
know, their money,
right?
Your money,
exactly.
And okay, so this actually also helped, because if you try to assign a property, a traditional lender would never approve that deal.
Nope.
But this way, you would put it in as like a fee.
Yes,
like Andrea approves professional fees, something like that.
Yeah, so we do, because we've had that issue where we had a conventional lender, and they were like, okay, how are we going to add? So what I did is I added a lien on the property of the amount that I'm going to get paid for, and that's how they were able to pay me my fee, because you obviously, if you have a lien on it, you got to pay those liens out, and the lenders will approve that, right? Because it's a lien. So that's how I was able to get paid on any conventional or even FHA loans, was through that lien. So I put the lien, and then they took it, and then that's how my fee got paid out.
But that means you have to put the lien in after you already have a sale contract, because then you wouldn't know how much you're getting.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lien?
Yeah. No, it's after. And so you put it like, so once we have the contract, because most of these properties, it takes about 25 days to still close, right? Because they're going through a traditional lender.
That's faster than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I was anticipating like 45 days.
No, I mean, some of them are 25 to 30, but I think 45 it's a little bit on the longer side. I've never had any of them take that long, but so you still got time, you know, to put the lien on there, because and then another thing, you have a good title company. My title company knows how we work. So I put the lien on the property. They do a whole, like, how do you do it? They run the title again, right? So that lien can pop up, and then that's how they're able to grab the lien. And then whenever it's time to show for the lender and all that, they see all that, you know.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I do have a favor to ask. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with more amazing stories and insights from REBallers. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. This episode is brought to you by National Real Estate Insurance Group, a national independent insurance agency specifically for real estate investors. I personally use NREIG for my investment properties. They offer a low monthly payment option to help you to lower your cash out of pocket when buying an investment property. If you're looking for insurance coverage for your flips or your rental, reach out to them. You can click on the link in the show descriptions, or you can reach out to Jules at 816-946-8443.